right, beautiful, beautiful music there by Ellie. 6:30. We're going to have a conversation with him later on in the show. Beautiful music. Well, we're going to get into another conversation this morning. And Alpha Beta Educational Centers is celebrating 35 years of unmitigated impact. Look, it's if you hear the story, right? If you know who Alpha Beta is and what they've done, the amount of impact they've had in this nation is unrivaled. Now, we've been joined this morning by Reverend Sami Ejapong. He's a co-founder of the Alpha Beta Education Centers. We also have the school director of Alpha Beta Education Centers, Dr. Naomi Ejapong, and Primrose Ejapong. She's also with the Alpha Beta Education Centers. Ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
All right. So let me just get right into it. Now, Reverend Ejapong, 35 years ago, what was it that struck you, that decided that, listen, let's start Alpha Beta?
Well, once again, thank you very much for having us. It started as a journey. I've been in the UK for like 21 years. I went when I was very young.
Okay.
And I decided to relocate back to Ghana. I came back with my wife and my daughter.
Okay.
That was in 1986.
Okay.
Now, she was a trained teacher with Montessori training as well.
Okay.
And so we decided to start.
This is Naomi you're talking about?
No, my wife.
No, so with your daughter?
The daughter we came back with.
Naomi. Okay.
Yes,
all right.
Yes, she was very small then, 2 years. So we came back, and because of her training and her passion for education,
okay,
we decided to start a small preschool Montessori.
Okay.
With no more than about 50 students. That was the original vision.
Wow.
And that was the motivation for starting it. But I mean, obviously coming back to Ghana, we had to find something to do. I was in a family business, so we started the preschool together.
Okay.
And now, the rest is history, as they say. We started with 6 children under our carport.
Okay.
In Dansuman.
Okay.
If I were living in the boys' quarters at the time, the house was never built, but that's what we converted. And there was a small carport there with 6 children. So my wife Florence was doing everything. I mean, teaching them, doing all the toilet runs and everything to start with.
Wow. 6 toddlers.
6 toddlers.
That's how it began. Well, 35 years down the road, did you ever imagine this day? The size, the magnitude, the level of impact. Did you ever dream of this 35 years ago?
The thing is that when we came back from the UK, the vision was not revealed. I believe that God doesn't reveal everything. Otherwise,
it's scary.
Otherwise, you may be scared and not even start.
Yeah.
But the vision was given a bit at a time.
Okay. And
even with the preschool when we started, it just grew. It just grew gradually, and from 5 went to 50, went to 100, and then we had a problem.
Okay.
The problem was we were only doing preschool, and what was happening, especially with the Montessori, we take them in. Well, we're taking them in at 2.5 years.
Yes.
And by the time they leave at 5, they can read, they can write. They can do basic arithmetic.
Yeah.
And the parents were taking them to other people's kindergartens, where they became bored because they already knew.
They were already very active and they knew things.
And the parents said, I mean, you've given them a head start. Why are you stopping?
I see. Okay.
So that's what,
So the parents give you pressure to keep expanding.
To keep expanding.
Wow.
To keep expanding.
Wow.
So that's how we got into the primary.
Okay.
And then even later, the secondary.
Yeah.
So now we're running a full international program.
Yeah.
From the Montessori all the way through to the secondary school.
I love the story.
Yeah.
Dr. Ejipon, tell us from your perspective, the journey. So, I mean, you came in, you did your own growing and, you know, choosing your path in terms of teaching and everything else. Why did you say Alpha Beta is going to be the place I'm going to do this?
All right. Well, so interesting story with that is that I don't actually have a teaching background.
Okay.
So I did medicine at university. I actually worked in medicine for a very short while.
Okay.
But, you know, as he said, I'd grown up, you know, in education. So ever since I was 2, all I knew, we lived in the school. We lived school, we lived education. So that was my reality growing up. So even though I did medicine, there was always in the background the school was running. And I think one of the motivations for me, so I actually went to medical school in the UK.
Okay.
And after working for about a year, I guess the legacy was what pulled me back. You know, it was, you know, my parents had been working at this for the last 20-something years, and you know, how do we keep the impact going? And so I moved back about 13 years ago. I joined the school as director of operations, and I've been working. You know, we've been doing a lot of work. A lot of transition has actually happened over the last 10 years. Really rethinking, like he mentioned, the vision was not revealed at once. But it was just really rethinking education in the 21st century and how we can improve it to make sure that even though we have successful graduates for the last 35 years, how do we make what we're providing more relevant to the world as it is today? And a lot of things have happened, you know, over the last 10 years to make sure that our students are gaining the skills and the experience. You know, we run a leadership program called the Dinkrahene Leadership Program. We've been running for 10 years. Okay. And in the last 10 years, it's had incredible outcomes for our students. What we usually do is we profile our students when they graduate, and it's been amazing to see that some of the students who've been on the program for 7 years, they're graduating with multiple internships at the age of 17, 18. Some of them are going to university. They're writing back to us and saying, you know, guess what? In my school, I'm the only one who has done, you know, who has a vision board or who has a CV, you know, and it's been very amazing to see how enriching it's been for the students.
Now let me come to you, Primrose. Now, for you, you're an alumnus of the school, right? How much do you think being part of the Alpha Beta system has impacted on who you are today?
I'd say quite a lot.
Okay.
I think one of the things that I gained at Alpha Beta was sort of the freedom to explore and to explore interests. So I think I set up the cheerleading club in JSS. Okay. I set up a school magazine in senior secondary. So it was a very enabling environment to pursue a lot of things that I thought I was interested in or that I wanted to know more about. And what I think that being in that environment did is it instilled curiosity in me. And I think that's a cool part of my approach right now. So I think with curiosity as well, and being that curious, it also gave me a can-do attitude, which I do think you need to pursue your curiosities. And so I think being at Alpha Beta laid that foundation, which was really critical in what I went on to do after being at Alpha Beta. So for example, right now I work with an organization called the Abdul Latif Jamil Poverty Action Lab. And my job basically focuses on helping governments across Africa to design programs and policies related to education using cutting-edge evidence. And the only reason that I'm able to do this role, what qualified me for this role and what allows me to do what I think is really well at my job, is this sense of curiosity. I think coming into this role, I came into it with a very eclectic background. I've done so many different things leading up to this role. And even in this role, I'm able to think outside the box and think, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we try that? And I think that the reason I'm able to do those is because of the foundation of curiosity and a can-do attitude that I got at Alpha Beta. So I would say it's impacted me a lot.
Yeah, it sounds immeasurable. I mean, it's like your entire the entire course of your career life is the lessons and things you picked from.
Completely.
From there. Yeah. Let me come back to you, Naomi. We need more of the Alpha Beta experience across our educational landscape. I don't know exactly what occurs to you when you think about the rest of education in Ghana and how much you as an education center or group of the schools can impact on other educational facilities and educational institutions to at least rub off some of what you have on them.
Sure. So it's a great question because we've been doing, actually for a long time, we've been doing a lot of work with both schools in our local community and wider, wider field as well. But this year, we've actually started a new project called the STEM 35 Legacy Project, which is actually part of our anniversary, and it's very exciting for us because we are also starting just the question you asked. We've been here for 35 years serving our clients. What can we do to impact the wider community? So this initiative is really, the government have a STEM initiative out where we're really encouraging more young people to get involved in STEM, and so we were looking at what we can do to make sure that we can inspire and equip more young people in Ghana into STEM related careers, because we know that Ghana and Africa desperately needs more people to go into STEM. And so the program, we've actually last week had the first phase of one of the programs that we're working with local schools in the community. And we're planning to pilot this program in 2024 for 100 girls. And it's called the STEM Champions Club for Girls. The first segment took place last week where we had a 2-day leadership camp, and it was absolutely amazing. We had 25 young girls, and it was literally like light bulb moments. But these are things that our students would
take for granted, right?
For granted. And it's 2 days. It's 2 days. It's quite an investment. But they came away from that so enlightened, and actually have young people who I have somebody who works for me now. Who 10 years ago did the same 2-day camp, and he also came from the same government school just behind us. And he shared his testimony, and he was just explaining to them that, I was in your position 10 years ago, and just these 2 days completely transformed my life, transformed how I think. And it comes down to a lot of exposure. So these 25 girls in February are going to come back for an 8-week immersion program at Alpha Beta, where they'll be exposed to different STEM workshops. And really the idea is at the end of the 10 weeks, they will have seen what's involved in science, what's involved in technology, engineering, and math, and hopefully that will inspire them to take up a STEM-related career.
Fantastic. Well, you know what? Let's take a quick look at this quick video from Alpha Beta, and then we'll come up and wrap up the show, wrap up the conversation.
Join the award-winning Alpha Beta family today and give your child the gift of a lifetime. With a long track record of academic excellence and numerous awards to our name, Alpha Beta Education Centres is the premier choice for quality education in Ghana. Our commitment to excellence is second to none, and we are proud to have helped thousands of students achieve their full potential. At Alpha Beta, we believe in providing a well-rounded education that goes beyond academics. Our rich and varied teaching and learning environment encourages Christian values, service to others, and the development of essential life skills that will prepare your child for success in all aspects of life. Our state-of-the-art facilities, highly trained staff, and innovative curriculum ensure that your child has everything they need to excel and become global agents of change. Join the Alpha Beta family today and discover why we are the leaders in quality education in Ghana.
right, so there you see what Alpha Beta is up to and what it looks like. It's gorgeous. Let me just ask quickly before, as we wrap up the conversation, how can prospective parents, you know, people are watching, it looks exciting, it sounds interesting. How can they, are you accepting students? Are you enrolling? What's going on? How can people...
Yes, so we're still accepting students in January. We have a offer of free registration for those who want to join in January. And of course, we still encourage people to register for September for those who don't want to move in January.
Sure.
They can reach out to us. They can look at our website, which has a lot of information on there, but they can also check out our Facebook page and our Instagram page as well, Alpha Beta, at Alpha Beta _GH. You'll see a lot of pictures of school life. We're very, we have a very interesting school life, so you'll see a lot of pictures. If they want to reach out to hotline for admissions as well, as they can do that on 026-441-7040.
Okay.
I think it's on the screen as well.
Super. Fantastic. All right. Let me just come back and wrap it up with you. Final words. How do you feel about seeing all of this?
All of
35 years
35 years.
35 years ago.
It's been an amazing journey.
Yeah.
That God has brought us through.
Yeah.
And it's by His grace and providence that we have got how far that we have got.
Yeah.
So we give all glory to God.
Fantastic.
The next phase of Alpha Beta, we know, will take us
also
to
be amazing.
Greater heights.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So we just thank God for all of that. Well, unfortunately, my wife Florence could not be here with us, but
you've done her proud. The conversation, I love what we've done here this morning. Yeah, I'm sure she'll enjoy watching us.
She started with her passion. Education is her passion.
Yeah, okay.
So, you know, that passion has permeated through the whole family.
Yeah, fantastic.
To where we are now.
Thank you very much for coming through.
Thank you very much for coming.
All right, so this morning we've been speaking with the Alpha Beta Education Centers as they celebrate 35 years. We were joined this morning by Reverend Sami Ejapong, Dr. Naomi Ejapong, and Primrose Ejapong as well. We'll be right back after this break. Don't go anywhere.